Do another Storytime Saturday. Wait for some people to show up. In the meantime, I have a couple notes to hopefully make this time flow a little better. It's all about the learning process. There we go. There we go. That's better. All right. So this will get posted after it's done anyways, so you're not missing anything. It'll be available for everyone to see after the fact. So one couple things that I was going to discuss today. One is that I've had a Patreon account for some time. I used to use it for photography. I don't do that anymore. I've looked through it. I don't think I have any of my photography material on there at the moment. But if there is, give it a like. So what I'm doing with it now is I'm posting, the vast majority I'm posting is free content. So if you prefer Patreon, you can follow me there, and there will be some paid content. But overall, the vast majority of anything you will see from me will be free. And Substack, same thing with Substack. If you're over there, again, same format. The vast majority of everything, it will be free and very little paid content. So what would you find in the paid section of either Patreon or Substack? Longer format essay style writings. So something that's taken a lot more effort to put together. So I've put it behind a paywall. Hello there, thank you for joining. So yeah, that's why you're gonna find on those two platforms be that content limited, and it's found the Springtrap channel. Thank you for joining. So just a quick recap. Talking about getting a Patreon going and a Substack going. Let's move my notes here. So if you're on either of those platforms, you can find some content over there. Hello, new people. Thank you for joining. Gorilla, hello. So yeah, Patreon and Substack, and the vast majority of everything you're going to see from me will be free. But I'm doing great. How are you doing? I do want to earn a little bit of money, so some stuff, very, very little, will be behind a paywall. Again, that's Patreon and Substack. That's awesome. What do you got going on today? So that's okay. So that's that spoken about. Next note. Go ask anyways. Ask of the other side of the aisle. So, generally speaking, without getting into details, because I'm not interested in a political. Awesome, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So part of what's not going to happen with Storytime Saturdays is this is not going to be a political debate space, because I don't believe this is the best spot for that. ne pas français. Yeah, I probably butchered that, but you, you just furthers the point that I do not speak French. So asking questions. What I find, a lot of people don't want to ask questions. So somebody says something to you that you disagree with. What I see a lot of is that people shut down. Oh, that's it. That other person believes something that I don't, and I don't want anything to do with it. And I find that extremely dismissive. I find that so many people take this approach of not wanting to learn. Ethan Dolly, I've been a lifelong Metallica fan since high school now, so that's going on 25, 30 years. So, okay, so shut down. So what I'm talking about is that people shut down. They yeah, and so it's hard to have discussions anymore. You go online and, on Facebook, which is a cesspool anyways, people, you say something, you defend the meme or whatever it is, and then somebody will come along and say, oh, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, sit down and shut up. And part of what you're going to see on my YouTube and my Instagram is a lot of mindset stuff. I want people to walk away from my content a little better than before they saw my content. So I disagree with this idea of just spouting toxicity. I don't know what you guys think. Jump in, offer your opinions on what I'm talking about here. But I find that I don't engage. I don't want to engage. I see too much of this sit down and shut up mentality, and people don't take the time to, number one, victory for me. If that's what you're talking about, thank you. Appreciate the support. I find from my own sanity, don't engage with the political stuff. Don't engage with those people that post that kind of negativity. The expression goes, it's like winning a game of chess against a pigeon, and then it jumps on the board, strutting around, knocking the pieces over, and shits all over the place. Doesn't matter that you won the game. And that's so much of what I'm seeing anymore. People don't want to talk. Nobody wants to have conversations anymore. Nobody wants to learn anything. People are listening for or to give a response. People don't listen to communicate. So the difference is communication is both listening and speaking. And I'm finding a lot of people don't understand that either. So trying to create somewhat of a space for some positivity. And so also what Storytime Saturdays was about is that you, the viewers, can ask me questions. And here I am, trying to give examples about how I live what I speak. So that when you watch my content, that you understand I'm not just speaking words for something to do. Yeah, I know. And when when it comes right down to it, uh, I don't, I just shut those people out. There are a lot of positive people in my life, thankfully, and and a lot of it is out of my control. That, like that's just the way social media works. Came back from my trip to China and found I accidentally ate dog at a restaurant. Okay, well, hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd try it, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I appreciate the share. So yeah, so much of social media, and I'm not the first to mention this. I'm not this isn't anything new, and I won't be the last to mention this. Is that social media? So much of social media is toxic. People find that it's a dumping ground. That people use it as a dumping ground, and a lot of people are a little too confident behind their keyboards and what they will say that they wouldn't say in public. Mike Tyson has a really good quote, something to the effect: people are too comfortable getting mouthy because they're not getting punched in the face. And he's absolutely right that you do. I believe in God? No, I don't. I'm not a believer. But I have a lot of respect for those that do. I'm not anti-religion, anti-God. That's not my thing. I believe in trying to 420. Hey, if that's your thing, smoke up. Yeah, I'm not anti-religion. I believe in trying to coexist, but that swings both ways. Don't shove your religion down my throat, and I'm not going to shove my non-believing ways down your throat. And there's a really good example of being able to have that conversation about our differences. You believe what you believe, I believe what I believe, and we should be able to converse about those differences without descending into madness because of those differences. So that's part of why I do what I do on social media, is trying to create conversations, that the engagement, and I hate the term, but I'll use it here, is safe spaces, but not in the typical way that it was used. My idea of safe spaces is that you can have those different opinions, and even if what you say is absolutely wrong, you want to try and tell me that 1 and 1 equals 3, go for it. Have at it. I'm not going to kick you off my platform or block you or whatever. We should be able to disagree, constructively disagree. You can say what you want and take the opportunity to learn. Ancient language? What's that? Which? So, go on, go back in. Sorry about that. Sorry there, Ethan. Which part do you agree with? Let me, uh, where was I? Being able to have a conversation. And yeah, so if you subscribe to any of my platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all the screen names are very similar. I tried to keep it as close to the old Guardian as possible. YouTube is underscore between each word. Instagram, I think, is all one word. So easy enough to search and find. You want to say what you want to say, and if I disagree with it, I'm going to engage you about it. If you're going to say it on my content, I'm going to engage you and attempt to educate you constructively. Again, I'm not shoving my opinions down your throat. So taking the opportunity to inform someone, you can do so constructively, inform them that they are wrong, and then cite your sources, refute what they're saying, cite your sources, and have a meaningful conversation about why you believe they are wrong, and if they are actually wrong, then what is right. So therein lies some of what we're seeing is free speech. What defines free speech? Who defines free speech? What should be allowed to be said publicly? And if we appoint someone to look over free speech, how do we know they're not abusing their power? So in other words, who fact checks fact checkers? So what are those checks and balances? So yeah, I'm big on free speech but then in that, is that if you want to spout always right and wrong, I think that comes down to, I think a lot of it has to do with the situation. So in sort of big picture terms, you take politics, for example. Do I think one side is right and the other is wrong? No. Take something like racism, hate, vile, believing with every being of your every fiber of your being that somebody is less than human because of the way they're born. Yeah, I believe you are wrong. For starters, at the very least, you're wrong for racist, vile, disgusting beliefs. And that's where a lot of work begins to educate the public in overcoming those beliefs. Some of it's generational. No, I don't know what those are. Some of it's generational. Some of it has to do with, like, some people just don't know any better. But then once you become an adult, you bear a lot of responsibility in what you are going to learn about. Generally speaking, if you have access to a library, you can learn. Anymore, how many people have a smartphone? You can learn. So I don't believe that something like generational racism should continue. Like, there's no reason for it. We can learn and get past it, and just why is coexistence such a bad thing? What do you guys think? At the moment, I don't have any other ideas. So if you got questions for me, feel free to comment. I'm certainly willing to opinionate on almost everything. So don't be shy. Ask me whatever you want. So for starters, my Storytime Saturdays will go for approximately 30 minutes. Cut it off at 30 minutes, and if in time things get rolling. Thoughts on the state of America right now? I think there's a lot of upheaval. This what Trump and Musk are doing is it's a very chaotic approach to undoing what the left has done. I don't agree with Trump's approach and being so brash and balls out. Australia, hey, how's things going down in Australia? Like, how's your situation going? I don't agree with everything that Trump is doing. I don't agree with an unelected official, principally speaking, an unelected official having access to finances. So yeah, there's a fair bit that I disagree with, but in terms of what is happening, well, that's a good question. I kind of leave it at, let's see what happens. It's a bit of a non-answer, but that's what I got at the moment. For the record, I'm Canadian. So to further your original question, what do I think about what's going on with Canada and the tariffs? I think Canada has, so Trudeau, our Prime Minister, has the opportunity to pivot, so to speak. What do we do now? How do we handle this? How do we move forward? I don't think the reverse tariffs was the most constructive thing to do. Also, so citing sources here, so the way Trump came in with this over-the-top, outrageous negotiation demand, this is the way he operates. And he wrote about it in The Art of the Deal, in one of his books. So this is nothing new from him. This is the way he does it. And as I mentioned, I disagree with it. I don't think you need to rattle people's cages to get their attention. If you really dislike the agreement that you signed the first time around, then do something about it. You don't have to be a dick about it. And so Trudeau's messed up. So like the reverse tariffs, the gutless, spineless approach to like really. I think there would have been greater strength in sitting down with Trump, not to agree with him, but figure him out, like find out what's going on. I think he's in this very chaotic way. He's looking out for America, but going about it in a very rough way. Like there's no need for all this bluster and blow, this showmanship. It's not necessary. What do you think, Ethan? What do you think about what's going on in the U.S.? Hello to the new people. So I got about 3.5, 4 minutes left. I may go on a little longer. We'll see what's happening. Getting these live segments going. I figured a half hour was good to start with, and yeah, and go from there. In time, expand, and we'll see where Storytime Saturdays go. We'll see where the channel goes. Getting some engagement, a few thumbs up. That's great. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you have any ideas for content, anything else you want to know about, feel free to comment. So if I don't get to it this time, it'll be in the next Storytime Saturdays, so 2 Saturdays from now. So I'm going to do these every other Saturday because that's the time that I have available for doing these. And any of my content, feel free to comment on it, and either I will respond back in the comments, or I will. Is the drug problem really that bad in Canada? Yes, it is. Fentanyl is the primary drug now. These are not the 80s and 90s anymore. Cocaine and heroin, that is still a problem, but that seems to be, some areas look extremely bad. Yeah, depends on the city and the region. So you go out west to British Columbia, that's reported to be the fentanyl distribution area. Like that's where most of it's produced. Fentanyl labs, like a meth lab, same thing. These warehouses set up as fentanyl labs produce there. Allegedly, it's Mexican cartels and Chinese triads are producing it and distributing. Oh, that's good, man, and I hope it stays that way. Fentanyl is nasty shit. I'm trying to. How can I? Here, let me. Trying to trying to show you how little fentanyl there. That little speck, even less than that, is all that it takes to kill someone. But there were major busts of meth from Canada. Yeah, there's Canada. We don't talk enough about our drug problem. How bad is it really? I haven't looked that much into it. I'm starting to understand more. So even in my early estimations, yeah, I know it's bad. Fentanyl is up there. That's the drug of choice. And another part of that too is people that are doing drugs shipped from Canada to Australia. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised that it's the Mexican gangs, the Chinese gangs, Hell's Angels, our I don't know if you have a chapter of Hell's Angels. Oh shit, that's like 900 pounds. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. They produce here and then ship all over the world, and they produce here because our laws are basically toothless. Yeah, half a ton, half a metric ton. What does that look like visually? Like, just how much is it? I don't know. Two skids, three skids. It's a lot. All the same, doesn't matter what it looks like. It's a lot. Yeah, like Trudeau and this catch and release program. You're out on bail in no time. So these gang members, it's like a day off. It doesn't do anything to them. They spend 2-3 days in jail, and then they're back on the streets, go back to the lab and keep producing. Bringing in fentanyl from Canada. I hope they don't. And there are people in the fight, people that they've made this their life mission to bring attention to it. I'm certainly willing to talk about it and my opinions, my views on the issue, but in terms of being a citizen journalist, that's not me. It's not my style. If you watch my content, you get a better idea of what I'm trying to do. So I applaud those that are in the fight and drawing attention to this and going after our politicians, trying to hold them accountable, which they absolutely need to be. As much as everybody loves Canada, I don't think that we are so squeaky clean. Okay, like our hands are dirty with the drug problem. We have our own problems. We absolutely do. So, I'm not proud of it. And if I knew what to do, yes, they absolutely are. Enforcement is weak. So if you Google Canada catch and release laws, or Trudeau catch and release, you'll see stories in the news about it, that criminals they get weak sentences, or bail, they're back out in 2-3 days. So the punishment is like a slap on the hand. They the court appearance does nothing to them. It's whatever. They appeared in court, they're out on bail, and back to doing what they were. So, just pulling up my browser here. That way I can search something to better answer your questions. What else would you like to know? Well, let's see. I wouldn't have thought so either, and in my speculation, although it's probably a sound reasoning to speculate that Canada became a manufacturing hotspot because of our laws. We don't, like I mentioned, what are our politicians doing to protect us, to help us? And then law enforcement is frustrated because they arrest these people and then they're arresting them again the following week. In some cases, literally. So I feel something for law enforcement. Why are they arresting these people for them to arrest them again the next week, and the week after, the next day? It almost seems pointless. Let's see here. Global affairs. Yeah, global affairs. That's something. Finding out about what our tax-paying money is going to support in foreign countries. Should we be looking after ourselves? Yeah. What are some of these programs that are being supported in foreign countries? I gotta wonder, why aren't the countries doing that themselves? And then why am I paying for somebody else's play or something like what's happened in the U.S. and finding out where their money is going? Tariffs, energy security, future of North America, legacy, biased and deranged legacy media. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Anything else you want to know? Almost an accident. Seen some videos of some cities in Canada where there's just mass amounts of homeless drug users. I never thought Canada would be like that. Yeah, there's areas, even the city I live in Toronto, yeah, depending on where you go, there's these tent cities, encampments, homeless people, they set up their tents and they take over parks, in other words, public spaces. And yeah, all too often, what you're going to see is a lot of drug use. So they're not, these areas are not safe, and some of them will get propane tanks. They'll have barbecues so they can cook their food, and then there's a fire. So 2, 3 tents burn down. It's yeah, it gets ridiculous, and the politicians aren't inclined to do anything about it because I can only venture to guess. I feel for you, man. I hope so. I hope the Australian people are a little stronger than us Canadian people, and you never have to experience this type of thing. Also, one thing that I like about what you guys have that we don't is you have proportionate representation. So 1-to-1 vote. You vote, your vote actually counts. We have first past the post, which basically means it takes many votes to make up one seat for a politician. I get it. It takes forever and a day for things to happen for you guys. Your politicians can't make up their minds forever and ever. But when they finally do, it is actually, it's the way we hear about it is that when a law finally passes, you guys have spoken. The law is what the people want. Yeah, we don't have proportionate representation here. Both the U.S. and Canada are first past the post. You'll have to Google that for a better explanation than I can give. But a lot of people aren't happy. Trudeau ran on his original platform about 10 years ago that he was going to do that for us. He was going to give us proportionate representation, and then never did. He backtracked on that, and so we still don't have it. Hello, new person. Let's see if I can find something else to talk about. What do we got? Um, Probably gonna wrap this up in a few minutes. So if you have any more questions for me, go ahead and ask them, and I will certainly answer for you. All right. Oh, 505. Yeah, awesome. Growers are increasing. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Up to just today. So I appreciate you guys. Hello there. How's it going? Yeah, let's shut that down. Refresh that, see what's going on. All right. All right. So I think that's it for today. That was actually a better run than I expected. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your support, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Take care.